Friday. We're going to be talking about how to call in abundance. Whoa. Despite whatever the outside climate is of finance. I just got this download literally seconds ago of this vision. I'm going to read from How to Attract Money Today by Joseph Murphy. There's two books that I'm reading from. So if you're interested in listening to this, listen to this live. And if you're not, hit the road, Jack. So talking about money, talking about the world today and how we see it or how we perceive it. My download this just a second ago was just seeing this vision of newspaper articles. And the newspaper articles, just the headlines were about the Great Depression. We know, based on all the things that we've spoken about here, that our subconscious mind is programmed with certain beliefs. And those beliefs are what literally shapes our reality. Because why is it when the economy is so bad, there are some people that are doing horribly, and there are some other people that are thriving? The only difference between these groups of people is their belief system about money. So when I had this visualization of these newspaper articles, it just dawned on me that it didn't just dawn on me, but it just clicked. It's like you put the last puzzle piece in and you're like, yes, I completed it fucking finally. That regardless of what is truly going on economically, we're programmed to believe that certain things are happening economically. So the outside powers, the propaganda, the government, whomever, want us to believe that certain things are happening. Oh, they're saying it's going to be a horrible year. They're saying it's going to be like the Great Depression of 1929. The stock market's going to crash. We realize that money isn't even real. So if that is true, and all of our money exists online, they're just numbers out in the ether somewhere. Because if you went to the bank right now and you had $2 million and you're like, I want to take all my money, give me all my money in cash. They would say, we can't do that. We can't do that. Robert, I need you. Robert's in the house. People keep DMing me about Robert. Is he the real deal? Is he a real healer? Yes, he is. He's not pretend. Okay? So, going back to the numbers and things just being not even real. So if the numbers and the banks and all that stuff, they don't really truly exist, who gets to determine that there's a loss of something? Who gets to determine the Great Depression? Who gets to determine that the stock market's just going to be horrible? The businesses are going to crash. Real estate is going to be horrible now. Everything in this realm is made up. And it is up to us if we fall for it hook, line, and sinker of whether we believe the propaganda machine. Okay? So if that is the case, and we're talking about how to call abundance into our life, regardless of what you hear, oh, it's going to be a really bad year for this. This market's going to go down. Crypto's going to crash. Don't buy a house now. It's not a good time to be on the market. You can't start a business right now because they're saying that, there's not going to be enough food. The food supply, they're messing up the food supply chain. There's not going to be enough water. Everything that we hear as propaganda is to program the populace to have a scarcity mindset, to live life to be scared. So if we fall for that, if we read these headlines, if we accept these headlines into our consciousness, that is all that we could become. So if we are wanting to attract a life of abundance, in whatever way that it is, whether it's love, it's money, any of those things, happiness, joy, if you constantly allow an outside source to program your consciousness, you will never, ever, ever have the things that you want, and you certainly won't have money. Oh, they're saying it's going to be a horrible year. The only people that are affected by these things, thoughts, words, are the people that will allow it into their consciousness and say, oh yeah, I'm not starting a business this year. I've been waiting to do it. I was going to do the business this year, but I'm not going to do it this year. They're saying it's just going to be horrible for everybody's small businesses. If you constantly let an outside source navigate your journey of life, you will never have the things that you want. So I just, right before I came on here, that visual came to me that wealth, poverty is all just a mindset. And they're programming the minds of the masses to have a poverty mindset. To say, oh, you know, you can't travel. It's really dangerous if you go to this place or this place. Go walk around in North Philadelphia. See if you get out. It's dangerous everywhere. Every place has its dangerous places. Every place has its great places. But they use the victim mentality against us on a daily basis. And most people will never even understand. They just read, oh, did you hear what so-and-so happened at this place? Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, we can't go there. I'm not traveling now. They're saying that all the planes are crashing. It's just one thing after the next, after the next, after the next to keep you frozen in fear so that you're not living to your maximum, your greatest potential. Yeah, I haven't dated in a while. There's no good guys out there. Yeah, all these women are, they're gold diggers. These are all just belief systems. And if you do have these beliefs about these things, and you want to change it, this is about reprogramming your subconscious mind. So if you do want to attract and call abundance into your life, it's stop reading the propaganda. Stop allowing it into your consciousness. What were your parents like growing up? How did they talk about money? What if you have an amount of dominoes that show you reality in your dreams and then it becomes a deja vu? I'm not sure what your question is. I'm not sure what your question is for me to be able to answer it. Or at least, discuss it. How to attract money, Joseph Murphy. Everyone wants money. And not just enough to go around. He wants abundance and to spare. He should have it. The urges, desires, and impulses we have for food, clothing, homes, better means of transportation, expression, procreation, and abundance are all God-given, divine, and good, but we may misdirect these impulses, desires, and urges, resulting in evil or negative experiences in our lives. Thank you, Catherine. Man does not have an evil nature. There is no evil nature in you. It is God, the universal wisdom or life-seeking expression through you. So if God wants to seek expression through us, what expression are we giving him? Are we giving the expression of negativity? I hate my life. Life is too hard. I'm always struggling. I wish I could make more money. It's impossible to find a new job. How am I ever going to get out of this place? I hate it here. Is that you living your fullest potential? Is that the way that you want God to be expressed through you? Imagine that. If someone else was living through you, through all of your expressions, what are your expressions? I'm not lovable. This person's always going to leave me. I never get the things that I want. No, I'm not going to go out. I'll never meet somebody anyway. It's too hard. Imagine that someone else was in your mind all the time and they got to live through your expression, and your expression is your deepest beliefs about yourself. Would you be proud of that? Or would you say, I don't want anybody to hear my thoughts. I don't want anybody to know my deepest secrets. But what we don't understand is that energy never lies. You can look at someone and you can know exactly what they believe about themselves by the way that they dress, by the way that they carry themselves, by the things that they have in life, by the way their life is always unfolding. Do you know a person that just things are always going wrong? No matter when you talk to them, if it's like you don't talk to them for 6 months, you don't talk to them for 2 weeks, there's always something going wrong. You know exactly where that person sits in life, in the state of victimhood. Are you one of those people? Maybe you are. Maybe you're hearing this so that you say, that's me, and I definitely want to change that. I experienced this moving back to my hometown. I was so down about it, but my soul had work to do here, and so many blessings if I allowed it and stopped telling myself the story that sucked here. And nobody saw me. I had to change my narrative, or I would stay miserable. It's all the story that we tell ourselves. So if you want to have abundance, what story are you telling yourself about money? About making money? About what money means? A man said to me one time, I'm broke. I do not like money. Money is the root of all evil. That is a program. Do you think these people that have millions and billions of dollars, do you think that they say money is the root of all evil? No. What about people who are truly struggling financially? This is the reason you're struggling financially, is your mindset. There is no other reason that you are struggling financially unless it is because you think money's hard to make. I have to work really hard to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. All of these belief systems that we heard. Did you hear your parents fighting about money? Did you always have to play safe? You shouldn't spend that money. You better save your money. You better save your money. So the guy said, I'm broke. I don't like money. It's the root of all evil. Love of money to the exclusion of everything else will cause you to become lopsided and unbalanced. So you don't want to just have this love or idolize money. You're here to use your power or authority wisely. Some men crave power. Others crave money. If you set your heart on money and say, that's all I want, I'm going to give my all my attention to amassing money, nothing else matters, you can get money and attain fortune, but you've forgotten that you are here to live a balanced life. Man does not live by bread alone. So it's not saying idolize money. It's just saying have a money mindset in order to make it, so that you can use it for the experiences of other things in your life or for other people. Right? We don't want to idolize money and say, this is the only reason I just want money. Because how many people do we know, celebrities, these people are miserable. They have everything they could ever want, but they don't have balance. So when you don't have balance, when you have this huge fortune, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be happy. Yes, it gives you other opportunities to be able to do things that maybe other people can't do, but that doesn't ultimately lead to happiness. You could have all the money in the world and you could have a horrible relationship. You could have all the money in the world, but you're alone and you can't find the love of your life because you believe that love is hard to find. So this isn't saying that we worship money and we only want money. We want balance in our life. We want harmony in our life. Because when we're in harmony with one thing, it's easier to have harmony in another with another. And just because you have money doesn't mean that you're in harmony. I'm good. I just see so many people who are happy but have a hard time putting food on the table. It's mindset. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. It is their belief system about money. There is nothing else that contributes to people not having enough of something is their belief. I always talk about my great-grandmother. She used to hide money. After she died, they found it in shoe boxes. They found it under her bed. They found it in her pillowcase, under drawers. They found money everywhere because she lived through the Great Depression. So her money mindset, her programming about money was there's never enough. I got to hide it. I got to hoard it. I got to hold on to it. We circulate money. When we talk about circulating money, it means circular. It means it's always coming back. When you say I spend money, you're in the mindset of, I just let it go. How am I going to get that back? I circulate money every day. Now when I spend money, I don't even think about me spending it. I'm just like, I know I'm getting the money back. It's not even a thought in my head. Where many people will spend money and be like, oh, I'm going on this trip and I have to spend all this money. Like, how am I going to do this? And I have these bills to pay. And da, da, da. You're living in a state of lack. And even though maybe right now you don't have the finances that you want, it doesn't mean that you can't change your mindset. Fake it till you make it is a real thing. And especially in manifestation, that's how you manifest, is thinking it real before it's even real, because it's real here first. When I created a clothing line and I designed things, it was in my mind first. I didn't pull it out of the sky and be like, oh, that's awesome, I'm going to use that. I came up with the idea of what it was going to look like. I then drew it in my head. I then drew it on paper. I then sent it to a fashion sketcher. They drew up the fashion sketch. I then sent it to get a sample made. And then all of a sudden it came to my door. Here's this thing that I created in my mind. So everything is created in the mind first. So fake it till you make it. You think, what would it be like if I had my dream house? See yourself in your dream house, or whatever it is that you desire. See what it looks like. What does it feel like walking around? You open the refrigerator, everything, every detail. Do that every day. And things in your life start to shift because they have to, because you're shifting energy. You can't stay in the energy of poverty when you start to shift your mind to a mindset of wealth and abundance. It's not possible because they're on different frequencies. That's all that this is. This sounds new age, just that. Get your head out of your ass and go look at science, because science and spirituality are one and the same, but this isn't new age. This is the way that the world works. This is the way that it is. I didn't make it up. So when you're seeing yourself in the ideal situations that you ultimately want to be in, and less thoughts of, I don't have enough. Shit, I got to pay this bill. I really want that, but I can't afford it. When those thoughts are less and less, you're shifting to a different parallel reality. There are thousands or millions of parallel realities that you could tap into literally right now. But it's getting on the frequency of that reality that's going to get you to jump timelines. All of a sudden you wake up and you're like, how do I have all this? What's going on? You switched timelines. Why did you switch timelines? Because you switched energy, your vibration. If you're changing the vibration from, say, 100, whatever, to 2,000, and you're at 2,000, the same things can't exist at 2,000 that existed in 100. I'm just making up these numbers, just as if they were frequencies. So it's the same thing about money. If you think that money is hard to make and all this other bullshit, and it's on a very low vibrational scale, and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you decide, I'm going to change my mindset. I'm going to change the way that I think about money. And little by little, things start to change. How are they changing? Because my vibration is not down here anymore. It is up here. Like, wow, I like this. I like this new life. I like this new feeling. Feeling is the secret to manifestation. Feeling it real. Let's see what else Joseph Murphy has to say. Okay, you are living in a subjective and objective world. Wait, the crash of 1929 was a psychological panic. It was fear seizing the minds of people everywhere. It was a sort of negative hypnotic spell. Just like COVID. It was a hypnotic spell. If you say something enough, people believe it. If you say something enough, no matter how big the lie is, people believe it. That's hypnosis. That is programming the subconscious mind. That is how you become programmed, is through hypnosis. Programming the subconscious mind is repetition. You learned your ABCs not by saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the whole thing one time. You're like, oh, I know it now. We know our ABCs because of repetition. We kept messing up, and then we're like, A, B, C, D, F, G. No, A, B, C, D, E, and we kept doing it over and over. That's reprogram the subconscious mind. As long as you live, you will never forget your ABCs because it's so deeply ingrained in your subconscious because you have repeated it for probably months in school. It's the same thing with money. It's the same thing with love. It's the same thing with anything. You're reprogramming your mind over and over and over again. I am lovable. I am lovable. I am lovable. I'm in a loving, beautiful relationship. I am lovable. I am lovable. I am lovable. I am wealthy. 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 A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's the same shit. We're just a little bit older now. That's why it's that quote, give me the boy until he's 7 and I'll show you the man. Why? Because between the age of birth and the age of 7, the subconscious mind is most impressionable. Why do you think they get us into school? Because they program our minds with what they want us to know. Show me the boy until he's 7 and I'll show you the man. And obviously it doesn't stop at the age of 7. If something really terrible happens to you, that impresses the subconscious mind immediately. Then you live in a state of fear. You live in a state of panic for the rest of your life unless you change that program through EMDR therapy, through muscle testing, through hypnosis, through theta healing. Unless you change the program, that program's always going to be running. And that program's always going to be running. There's a frequency attached to that belief system. And that belief system is going to be driving your car of life wherever you think it's going to take you. I have to live in fear all the time. So what happens? Something that makes you afraid every single day. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm angry. The universe is going to give you fucking things to continue to be angry about every day until you change and say, I'm done. I want to be happy. I want to have peace in my life. Or if every day your belief system is, I'm abandoned, nobody loves me, love is so hard, relationships never work out, I'm always cheated on. If that's how you're driving around your life, you cannot attract anything else other than that. Unless you change the thought. I'm always loved. I'm in the most loving, committed, amazing, joyful, happy, fulfilling relationship. Write that shit down. Write it down every day. Think about what that looks like. You're changing your vibration. So if you're changing your vibration, you can switch timelines. It can happen overnight. It can happen overnight to switch timelines. But it's being committed to this work of changing the subconscious program so that you can switch timelines, so that you can have a different reality. For most people, for many people, this will always be too much work. They don't have it in them to change. And those people, you got to leave them alone. Allison, you call me at like 8 something. Like, I can't speak to people that early. And for many people, that's not early. But for me, it's too early to talk. Knowledge of the spiritual power is the means to the royal road to riches of all kinds, whether your desire is spiritual, mental, or material. The student of the laws of mind or the student of the spiritual principle believes and knows absolutely that regardless of the economic situation, stock market fluctuation, depression, strikes, war, other conditions or circumstances, he will always be amply supplied regardless of what form money may take. I know you know, Allison. So regardless of what is said, oh, it's going to be a horrible year for this. Don't buy a house now. There's not any jobs. All the jobs are overseas. All the jobs are being taken over by artificial intelligence. All of this stuff is nothing but a program. So regardless of the stock market fluctuation, the economic situation, depression, strikes, war, other conditions or circumstances, he will always be amply supplied regardless of what form money may take. During COVID, people lost everything. That was one of my biggest fears that I had financially. So how is it that some people were in such a state of loss and other people were in such a state of wealth and abundance? It's because what I believed about money. Money's easy to make. Everybody might be shut in their house and whatever, but money is easy to make. It's all in the mind. The reason for this is he abides in the consciousness of wealth. The student has convinced himself in his mind that wealth is forever flowing freely in his life, and that there is always a divine surplus. Should there be a war tomorrow and all the students' present holdings become valueless, as the German marks did after the First World War, he would still attract wealth and be cared for regardless of the form the new currency took. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It is a mind conditioned to divine supply, forever flowing. The scientific thinker looks at money or wealth like the tide. It goes out, but it always comes back. The tide never fails. Neither will man supply when he trusts a tireless, changeless, immortal presence which is omnipresent and flows ceaselessly. The man who knows the workings of the subconscious mind is never worried about the economic situation, stock market panics, devaluation, or influence of currency, since he abides in the consciousness of God's eternal supply. Such a man is always supplied and watched over by an overshadowing presence. If you think of money like the tide, it will never fail. It always comes in and it always goes out. It always comes back in and it always goes out again. It always comes back in and it always comes back out again. Most people just think of money going out. They don't ever think about it coming back in. But when we have that mindset, we switch our mindset to that money goes out and it always comes back in. Money's always going to go out and it's always going to come back in. So it literally is your mindset that creates wealth and abundance. So if you want to change anything about your life, it starts with reprogramming the subconscious mind. What are your beliefs about money? What do you believe about money? I have to work really hard to make money. I have to work 1,000 hours a week to make money. I have to have sleepless nights in order to make money. Because if that's what you believe about money, then that's what it's going to be. You're always going to have to work really hard. And that was my life. As a dancer, I believed I had to be in pain every day in order to make money. And surely enough, I was in pain to make money. And surely enough, I did not make enough of it. That was my mindset. I love dance. I love dance. I love to dance. I love to dance. And I knew, I was like, I didn't care if I had money or if I didn't, because I just loved to dance so much. But that got old. By the time I was, I don't even know, in my late 20s. That got old. Being in pain every single day. Not being able to walk the next day. Not being able to move my head the next day. Having migraines every single day. It started to get old. Well, if I work this many days, then I could pay these bills, and then I could have enough money to get food, and I could maybe buy something. Who wants to live like that? Nobody. So what did I do? I changed my mindset. Every time I was in the car, I was listening to meditations, like money meditations. When I was going to sleep, I was listening to money meditations. I was doing everything that I could to change the subconscious programming, even though I didn't really exactly know how it worked, because this was, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. So even though I didn't know exactly the science of it or how it worked, I just knew that I had to do something. I just knew that something had to change. And if I listened to these money things, that something would happen, hopefully. And now I know exactly how it works. So if something isn't going favorable in my life, and I'm just like, well, dumbass, you're the one that's been thinking it into existence. Thank yourself for that. And I know that. But sometimes we just get so caught up in things and feelings that we allow them to overtake us. And before we know it, we manifested exactly what we didn't want to manifest. So hopefully that was helpful this morning. And we have a beautiful weekend. And we go into the weekend knowing that we create our reality. We do it, we do it, we do it. So, my manifesting course I am pushing for several reasons, but I will give the date of the manifestation course. Letting go of attachments brings life in abundance with what you are clearly manifesting from positive actions where the accountability is on the same line that you choose to walk. Love it. Love that. So, I'm glad it was helpful, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Send me a message if you need help with something, or if you have questions about this stuff. And I will chat with you all very soon on Monday.